The Las Vegas Raiders, I was just going through my head on whether or not, either way, the Las Vegas Raiders are terrible right now. They look like one of the worst teams in the NFL. Pete Carroll doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. Geno Smith looks awful. I've always been on the Geno was never that good, even when everyone's on. Geno's good now. Geno sucks. Geno has always sucked. And I feel really like I am winning something here, even though I'm not. But we're going to be rebuilding the Raiders in this video. We're going to use a real draft class for year one. The rest of that will then be fictional draft classes. Another thing I'm going to do, I'm going to force win their current record as of right now. Last rebuild, I ended up doing started by the week, or start with whatever specific week. It messed something up with the coach abilities where like you don't actually get to have all of your coach ability slots that you should have as you unlock them and upgrade them. So what we're going to do is we're going to not do that, have our coach abilities, and try to turn this franchise around. So let's get into it. Okay, so this Raiders team is, I don't know, young on the offensive line, not particularly great. You have Brock Bowers, who has been dealing with some knee injuries. I think they kind of finally got a clue, and he didn't play this past week versus the Colts. But I think they're finally recognizing, you know what? No point in risking the future of this franchise with a bad knee that could, you know, just let that knee rest for a couple weeks. See if this team's in a better position. Geno Smith, 78 overall here. He has been horrific this season. Just bad. Yeah, they wrote you back, Geno. Your ass. Again, I never bought into the Geno Smith's good now. I always thought it was kind of just, Geno's the quarterback. You know, it really reminds me of those stretches, if you're kind of my age, 30. If you remember these stretches that Ryan Fitzpatrick would go on, right? Where all of a sudden, look, oh boy, is Ryan Fitzpatrick a starter? I would kind of go, probably not, you know? And then he started throwing interceptions again. He's a guy who plays a very, I think, risky style of football. When it works, it looks great. When it's average, it's okay. But when it's bad, it's really bad. And right now you have a guy who, honestly, there was a drop pick in that Colts game yesterday. He threw 2. He should have threw 3. He should be up to 10 interceptions already. We're barely into October. This guy is already knocking on the door of double-digit interceptions. He is bad. He is not the future. Tom Brady should just stay to, you know, doing mediocre commentary and getting cucked by jiu-jitsu coaches and stick to not making personnel decisions, because this team, the Raiders, had a shot to go out and get an Aaron Rodgers, a Sam Darnold. You know, there's all sorts of guys out there they could have went and got. They didn't go out and do that. But there are some young players on this offense with potential, and I think I would be wrong to not mention this young man who I feel so bad for him that he got drafted to the Raiders and had to deal with Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's out of here. Coach Mike is here to save the day. And hopefully we can do that. This is the first time that I've done a rebuild where we have just a great running back off rip who's young and I want to keep around. And that's Ashton Genty. So I'm excited to see how he does in the sim. I've set up the draft class. I've set up the scouts. So let's simulate to the mid-season mark, actually. I'll talk about Max Crosby then, I think, because I think I have an idea on what I want to do here. So at the mid-season mark, we are 2-5 with the Raiders, which I think is pretty expected, honestly. Not too far away from this actual point in real life. So this is something that, I just realized I just forgot to do. I forgot to actually set the scouting focus for all of my scouts by week because, again, I've mentioned this before. This is why I hate this. Their focus is now going to be on quarterbacks, even though none of their expertises are a quarterback. How poor of a game do you have, EA, where you can't just kind of do a basic coding thing where it's like with these scouts where whatever their expertise is with whatever the best strength is, compared to their expertise with someone simulating, make that the focus. Or just let us set the focus when we hire them. Why is it we have to wait until week 8? Just say, oh, it'll kick in on week 8 or 5 or whatever the fuck. Why the fuck does it do this? I have no fucking idea. I just swore a bunch. My bad. Just really stupid. You know what I mean? Just so stupid. I always forget about this. But that's EA. Oh, you have to set it at week 3. Why? Why do I have to set it at week 3? Just have it pop up when I hire them. Are you stupid? That's a rhetorical question for whoever works at EA. But either way, EA kind of ruins their scouting a little bit right there. Always forget you have to do that. There's a bunch of quarterbacks in this draft class. I don't think the Raiders are in position to really think about taking any of these guys. No, most of these guys are project quarterbacks, I would say, or guys who need to be put into good positions. So, not stat. Look at the stats. Geno is playing good here. This is because I have the Bengals playbook. But still 7 interceptions, 8 touchdowns, mostly kind of inefficient, honestly. And that's kind of Geno, honestly. And Ashton Jeanty not doing very good, actually. Only 260 yards so far on the season. And receiving, Jacoby Myers putting up some numbers. Brock Bowers playing well. And that's about it. So Geno kind of ruining this offense. In terms of stats, Max Crosby only 3 sacks on the season. And yeah, this team just feels like it's bottomed out and it's time to hit the reset button. It is time to make some trades. So we're going to make some moves here, try to get this thing on the right track. So we need picks. The Lions say, you know what, we want another edge rusher. This has been rumored. I don't know if it's like a fan fiction from Lions fans or something. The Lions fans have talked about this. Max Crosby, he might be a Michigan guy. I know he went to like Eastern Michigan or something like that. So I think maybe that's kind of the reason why. I'm not sure if he's like actually from Michigan. Maybe someone can correct me on that. Sorry, I don't know where every player is from. Yeah, he's from Michigan. He's a Michigan guy. I think if Max Crosby ever asked out and said, hey, I want to go home, I want to go back to Michigan, that's where I want to play this last of my career, try to win a championship with the Lions, I think the Lions would almost have to, I feel like this would be like a matching move to the Packers trading for Micah Parsons. Granted, you already have Aiden Hutchinson on the team, but now you go out and you grab another guy like Max Crosby. It costs you a corner. It does cost you some corner depth and some picks, but I think the Lions would probably do something similar to this if they felt like, you know what, this is the year where we're going to go out and we're just going to go for it. And this is a go for it move, and this is it's time to tear down and rebuild here in Las Vegas move. And that's the move that's going to be made. And another move that's going to have to be made is I wish I could trade Geno Smith, but that's probably just not going to happen. Honestly, I don't think anyone would trade for Geno. He's just not very good. I mean, there's no other way to put it besides Geno kind of stinks. And there's some guys on this line. We're not going to be trading those guys. The edge position, it's not good, but there's some guys in this upcoming draft that we can look at that I think could be good for us. So it's kind of one of those situations. I believe they actually just released Jermaine Pratt. So let's go find a trade offer for Jermaine Pratt and try to see if we can get some picks here. Is someone interested in trading some picks? They want to give us some 6th round picks. I mean, they want to give us a 5th rounder in 2027. And I'll take the 5th rounder in 2027, if I'm being honest. I might sound weird. I'd just rather have a 5th round pick. So I don't think there's anyone else that I'm particularly interested in trading for. Or trading away right now. I think that's just kind of what we're going to do. Running back room, Dylan Laube. I don't know why. I mean, it was amazing watching the Raiders. Dylan Laube was out here getting run, and Ashton Jeanty's just on the bench. It's just like, Pete Carroll is an amazing mind, but that's what we're going to do. Made some trades. We acquired some draft capital. We're a little annoyed because the game decided to be stupid. Or I was stupid and forgot that I have to set my region scouting myself, and the game will just set them to scout quarterbacks, even though none of them are none of their strengths are scouting quarterbacks. Great game you got here, EA. So we end up going 2-15 on the season, which is not very good, and we actually didn't end up making the playoffs. I know that sounds somewhat surprising or shocking, but we didn't make the playoffs at 2-15. Normally you don't, but you know, we have some upgrades that we probably need to do here. Ashton Genty with 1 upgrade. I wonder what type of season he had. We will see that when we go and look at the stats and just kind of see how he did. You know, so it's one of the things where it didn't look good in sim when we were kind of going through it the first time. I looked through it and was like, he only had a couple 100 yards, so no upgrades for Geno at all. That's how ass Geno is. But look at the stats and awards, and Geno was number 1 in passing yards. As my controller begins to flip out, I think I've been playing too much Skate, and I think I have stick drift in my controller or something. Yeah, one of these sticks have some stick drift, so might be rebuilt the next little bit till I get a new controller. But either way, Geno Smith, 22 touchdowns, 16 interceptions on the season. That's kind of in line with what Geno does, if I'm being honest. That's just him. Only 418 yards. So maybe there's something with the Bengals playbook that hurts sim running backs. I'm not sure, but Geno Smith had 200 yards rushing. I'm going to grab my phone right now. I'm somewhat interested in Geno Smith's rushing stats, if I'm being honest. I want to see what he actually has right now, and I can't find it. Let's go to Pro Football Reference. His rushing stats so far is, I don't think he has 100 so far this year in the season. Like, I don't think Geno has ever been a big rushing quarterback, if I'm being honest. I'm going to try to find his stats. And for his career, so far, his 12-year career, Geno has... The most rushing stats he had was his first year, at 366. And so he has actually a decent amount of rushing stats. So I guess I'm off on that, but it's not looking too good these past few years, actually. This year, I don't know. They're all right, rushing stats. I just feel like for a team that has Ashton Genty, I feel like he should have some more rushing stats. And Jacoby Myers killed it. 1,500 yards. Trey Tucker killed it. And Brock Bowers did not kill it at all. 685 yards, 2 touchdowns. If we need to try the Chiefs playbook for this team, if we have a great elite tight end like that, I'll give that a try next season. But, you know, 5 sacks, and you see that the sack numbers not great. The interception numbers are okay. I probably should have traded Jamal Adams now that I think about it. Let's go take a look here and see what Max Crosby did once we got him to the Lions. And yeah, he added some sacks. He got to 10.5 sacks there. So imagine that duo in real life. I mean, that's what you got to go deal. And DJ Reader, Tyreek Williams looks really good, actually. So have fun dealing with that in the NFC North, I would say. But 2-15. Let's go and get into this offseason. Well, it doesn't matter for the Lions because we ended up trading Max Crosby to the Lions. Packers still end up winning the Super Bowl. They defeat the Ravens 23-17. So Lamar finally gets to the big game and loses to the Packers and Micah Parsons. So we got some players ready to negotiate with us. You know, we have cap room, so I suppose we can keep some of these guys around. He wants to play for a new team next year. Okay. All right. Eric Stokes, what do you think? 2-year deal for Eric Stokes. He's excited, man. Jacoby Myers has been really good for us, or has been really good as a Raider, so we'll keep him around. And just a good player to have on the team for potentially our quarterback. Who knows who that'll be? Tyree Wilson. This would be, we'll accept the 5th-year option. We kind of do need an edge player after we traded away Max Crosby. Jordan Meredith, he's not interested. Malcolm Kuntz is not interested. Darnay Holmes, he wants to stick around. We're just going to not bring a lot of these guys back, honestly. Just not going to do it. You know, just a lot of these guys we don't need to bring back. I suppose we'll bring back the kicker. Can always bring back kickers. I like bringing back kickers, if I'm being honest. I know that might sound weird. I'd rather always have a really good kicker. So we're going to bring back our kicker. And I'm going to bring back our long snapper. Exciting stuff, I know. But we still have a lot of money. Oh, what? He's going to... Okay, our long snapper doesn't want to come back. All right, well, let's get into free agency. Okay, so first bit of free agency here. We ended up signing a Darius Washington, Asante Samuel Jr. We got Devin Bush in here, Tier Tart. We got a long snapper. And we signed a Trey Lance. So 26 years old. Not sure if he'll be able to progress that much if we do start him. But who knows? Maybe we'll be able to start him. I'm not 100% sure right now. But I'll update you on any other free agency stuff that we do. I'm not sure how much more free agency we're going to do. We have a lot of cap room, but you know me, I like trying to draft, but maybe if we find anything else that I like free agency, I'll let you know. Oh, we don't even have to worry about Gino. Apparently he retired. So I did not notice that right away, but Gino is no longer on the team, so I don't even have to worry about trading him. Raheem Mostert also retires, but Geno Smith is out of here. Thank God. I know all the guys who think Mina Kimes will let him hit if they simp for Geno on Twitter would be disappointed by this, but I'm personally not. So we're trying to do a trade here. Currently, we have the first pick in the draft. We have the 27th pick. I want to move up, and we want to move up a lot here. So I do wonder if I might have to trade one of those additional ones I got from the Lions if I want to do that. But we're asking the Browns to really move down a lot here. We are giving them our second round pick as well, which is at the top of the second round. So I don't know if I don't know if this is fair or not. Fair or foul. I'm not going to focus too much on it just because it's Madden, but they do accept the trade. So I do think you would have to give up a lot if we were moving up from 27 all the way to within the top 10, particularly into the top, really half of the draft. And right now, the plan is to, I think, probably actually take Caden Proctor here. Colton Miller getting a little bit older, but a quarterback is what I am planning here with this sixth pick. I don't anticipate any of these teams here to take a quarterback. I would be shocked if they did, but if they do, they do. That would be kind of insane, honestly. But we're done with free agency. Signed everyone that we're going to sign. So let's advance here to the next stage where I think it's going to be focus players, and we're going to focus on the quarterbacks that we are going to take here. That's not even popping up yet. But the quarterbacks that we do plan on taking, oh, not my scouts, prospects, quarterbacks we do plan on taking. Well, I personally don't plan on taking Garrett Nussmeier. I think LaNorris Sellers has the most upside. Again, the concern with LaNorris Sellers is that, is he polished enough? I would say, is he, or are you kind of getting into an Anthony Richardson situation? I would suppose. And that could be possible. Drew Aller, has not looked particularly, I don't think he's looked particularly great. I'm not seeing too many people kind of really talk about, Drew Aller, as much as they were talking about him last year. Carson Beck has looked good for Miami, honestly, really has. And then the rest of these guys, I don't think any of these guys are really making any noise in real life, to where, you would expect them to kind of jump up, really. And so it kind of becomes, LaNorris Sellers out of South Carolina, big guy, insane athlete, big arm. Does he know what he's doing with the arm? I don't know, right? This feels like the most Raiders move of all time, right? Instead of going with a guy like Garrett Nussmeier, who would probably be a more traditional-ish quarterback, right? Or Cade Klubnik, who hasn't looked particularly great this year, honestly. You go with the big-time athlete guy in LaNorris Sellers. And that's kind of what the Raiders would probably do in real life, honestly, if, it's just, if Al Davis was around, he'd probably draft LaNorris Sellers. So the question is, do we have the structure in place for him? We'll have to see. but I hope we do. So let's get into the draft. Here's the private workouts. I was wondering when those would pop up. They popped up in this stage. So this is going to be quite simple. We're looking at the quarterbacks because I think that's we have an idea what we're going to do with those other guys, those other positions. But it's going to be Garrett Nussmeier. Potentially take Garrett Nussmeier, LaNorris Sellers, and then we're going to go with Drew Aller. Because I have to say, I did like Drew Aller and what I watched of him last year in the college football playoff. At times, I thought he was a guy who made plays. But, we'll have to see. So let's advance and kind of take a look at these guys, kind of see what they actually look like. And then we'll get into the draft. And we'll take a look here. Prospects and, quarterbacks. And LaNorris Sellers, round 3 to 4 talent, and Drew Aller is a day 3 talent. So that's interesting, honestly. Are we going to take Garrett Nussmeier number 1, or are we just intrigued by the athletic capabilities, the physical tools? We'll worry about everything. The skill tools, we'll worry about those later. We'll develop those. But are we more interested in the physical? I think we're more interested in the physical, if I'm being honest. So we are here in the draft. We have the first pick in the draft. We're going to make our selection. And also, I'm going to have to keep looking for more draft classes. There's a good chance whoever I download this from maybe has a new updated draft class that does have some of the other quarterbacks that are starting to kind of climb up the board. Because there are other guys beginning to climb up the board. You got Fernando Mendoza out of Indiana, Dante Moore. I don't know if he's in this particular draft class, actually. I didn't recall seeing him. But those are two guys who are really starting to fly up the board. So as we do more of these rebuilds with these draft classes, with real life draft classes, I'll try to find ones that have those guys. Because those guys start to become real prospects. So what are we going to do here? Are we going to go after the left tackle that we looked at, right? Because, our tackles are starting to get a little bit older, Colton Miller's not getting up there in age, but are we going to maybe go out here, get our Max Crosby replacement? I drafted Ruben Bain Jr. in the last one, and I think we're just going to do it again here. I'm going to forgo drafting the tackle, Caden Proctor. We're going to go with Ruben Bain Jr. here, bring him in, and with the first pick in the draft. And, again, I just feel like that's kind of what we have to do, honestly. Hidden Dev, we kind of know the deal with him, but Ruben Bain Jr. going to be the first pick in this draft. And I like how it always says our weakest position is tight end, no matter what. So let's see, does someone take a quarterback? That's going to be Peter Woods for the Dolphins. They need to get tougher on the defense. This better not be a quarterback. That's going to be Caleb Downs. That's a little surprising to see a safety go in the top 3. The Cardinals, that's going to be TJ Parker. The Bears, this should not be a quarterback. And it's not. It's going to be Anthony Hill Jr. So now we're back on the clock. And this is going to be a quarterback. Just has to be. It is going to be LaNorris Sellers here. Again, has all the physical tools. We just have to build him up. And that's going to be kind of the goal. It's a reach, probably. It's probably going to be called a reach because it probably is a reach, honestly. But you typically do this for quarterbacks in the NFL. You see teams do this kind of just all the time. But LaNorris Sellers, going to be the future of the Las Vegas Raiders. Can he bring the franchise back to glory? We'll have to see. Ranked number 87 in true value. Drafted him at 6. Kind of what we had to do. Does have hidden dev. 94 throw power. 89 speed. So all those, they look decent. So, he should be good. So let's get to the rest of the draft after we traded a bunch of picks to get up here to first sellers, honestly. A big investment made into the future of the Raiders franchise. Third round of the draft, we're here, and you know what? Despite what everything says here, we're going to try to build a lot of these guys up. Why not try to build up North Sellers with his old college teammate, not old, Nick Harbor? Why not go for it? Let's try to bring in Nick. Let's bring in Nick Harbor. Let's draft him. It's probably a reach, And actually, it's not technically a reach. 58 overall, or 58 in true value. Drafted him at 65, so not too bad. Does have hidden dev, 99 speed, 98 jumping. It's the football stuff that he maybe struggles at that we're going to have to build him up for. But Nick Harbor, going to be a Raider. This is the most Al Davis draft of all time, honestly. Is Al Davis back from the dead? Possibly. Let's advance to the end of the draft and then kind of see what the rest of the draft looks like for us. Okay, so the draft recap. Ruben Bain, our first pick, 78 overall. LaNorris Sellers, a 72 overall, so he is the best quarterback on roster. Nick Harbor is a 73 overall, actually. And with him, it's the route running. That's what we have to work on. We have to work on the route running with him, but everything else is elite, is great. But the route running has to be fixed. So that's what we're going to have to focus on with Harbor. I ended up drafting Jaden Ott, actually, too. I didn't draft Jaden Ott. That was the CPU, but Jaden Ott as well. We already are pretty good at running back with Ashton Genty, and then Josh Cameron out of Baylor. 69 overall, 89 speed, 93 acceleration. Nothing too special, but Sellers does have hidden dev, but it's accuracy we're going to have to work on throw under pressure, awareness, all that typical stuff with quarterbacks, but everything else looks really, really good, and he looks massive for a quarterback, honestly. And the way he moves is kind of interesting as well. So let's get into season number 2. All right, so year 2, this is the roster. I mean, offensive line looks all right, honestly. Potentially starting to grow a little bit here. We got Jacoby Myers has superstar. Ashton Genty has superstar. We have hashtag Harbor. That is Nick Harbor. I'm just too lazy to go in there and actually put in his name. I'm not sure why that would be censored, honestly. We have some quarterbacks here. And hopefully Thornton, we can get him maybe going a little bit here. But either way, this offense looks decent. The defense is probably where we're going to have to do some work here. Still got to get this defensive line going. It's not kind of where I want it to be. Linebacker room is kind of just a hodgepodge of, kind of guys. We got to get that right. Hopefully we can. And, get the safety room. Jeremy Chin is good, but I have to feel like he has to be getting up there in age a little bit. He's 28. That's ancient in the NFL. We got a Darius Washington, though. And this cornerback room, there's potential. Asante Samuel Jr. is hurt. He has a hip pointer who is going to miss week 1, but either way, I think this team should be pretty decent. I will remember to do my regional focus scouting myself, so I will see you at the midseason mark. Hopefully this team does better than it did last year. But no Geno, so it has to be, right? So midseason mark, we are 3-4 on the season, which is kind of not bad, honestly. That's already more wins than we had last year. So let's go take a look here. LaNorris Sellers, what type of season is having? 12 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, 63% completion percentage, 1,400 yards, not too bad. Ashton Genty, that's about what honestly, this is like his basic total he had last year. LaNorris Sellers not using his legs too much. And then receiving wise, Jacoby Myers still being pretty good, productive. So is Brock Bowers, Trey Tucker, Nick Harbor, 13 receptions, 3 touchdowns on the season so far. Jack Beach getting in on the action as well. So things looking pretty good offensive, or looking okay offensively. Still not, I think, as explosive as I would like to see. And then Ruben Bain Jr. has come in and he has pretty much replaced Max Crosby for us. And we'll go take a look here at the development traits of LaNorris Sellers. I'm somewhat interested to see what his development trait is. So LaNorris Sellers, at least in this draft class, has Superstar X Factor. And Colton Miller is hurt again. That's very annoying. But LaNorris Sellers, Superstar X Factor quarterback. He is, so his X Factor is dots. I don't know if that would actually be his X Factor ability if we were to use him. I feel like he would have something like either Freight Train or... Because I just feel like he would, maybe escape artist, run and gun. Yeah, I think it'd be maybe something like that. I don't know, maybe bazooka even. But yeah, so pretty, it's cool that he has that. We'll have to go. I don't think this does anything in the sim, so I'm actually not going to touch that. I'm going to kind of just leave it at where it's at. Harbor has not gotten his dev trait revealed yet. If I had to take a guess, it's probably Star. Ruben Bain, I believe we already know this from the last rebuild we did. That is going to be a Star development for him from the Titans rebuild that we did. So so far, that's kind of what the dev traits are looking like. So let's simulate the rest of the season, and I'll come back with you then. Maybe we'll make the playoffs. I kind of doubt it. Still some room to go here with this team and what we have to build up, particularly at the linebacker position. I think maybe even on the defensive line a little bit, we got to build up some more, but maybe, and even corner, we probably still need another corner or two. So still some work to do here, but we're making progress. So it's going to be 6-11 on the season for us. That's a big improvement from last year. That's a bunch of extra wins, not as many losses. LaNorris Sellers has 16 upgrade points. We're going to go with Field General for like a bunch of these, because we got to get his accuracy up. That's the biggest thing probably holding him back. I don't know about that in real life, but certainly in the game, we got to get this right. I think in real life, it's more just general kind of like decision making, if I'm being honest. I think at times where it's just kind of like, oh no, why did you do that? Type of stuff. That's the stuff he has to work on, but I think his general accuracy is not too bad. But just going through, going to do these upgrades here. We still have 12 of these to go. And again, just working on getting this up here, and also gets an ability slot. And we got one more for Field General. And then the rest, I think we're going to focus on potentially Strong Arm, actually, because those also give you upgrades to your accuracy. And which is strange enough, it does give you pretty good upgrades to your accuracy as well. So let's just keep going here with Strong Arm, kind of see where we can get him up to when we're done with all of these upgrades. Up to an 82 overall right now, and now an 83 overall. And gonna come back again with Strong Arm, and still kind of just looking pretty good right now, honestly. Really progressing here. Strong Arm again up to an 85 overall, and an ability slot. Strong Arm again, so this should be a pretty good upgrade right here. Gonna be only 2 of them, but should be throw accuracy deep again. Another upgrade here, and he is just gonna keep getting better, because this is kind of where it all starts for us. Right here with this quarterback, we get this right, we get everything else right. Everything else comes into place, everything else gets easier when you get the quarterback right. It makes everyone else's job so much easier. So he's gonna be up to a 90 overall here, and gets another ability slot. So he is looking pretty good right now. Going to be getting ready for, I think, a big season 2. And we are going to look at the rest of these guys. Nick Harbor, I'm interested to see kind of what his dev trait is. If I had to take a guess, it probably is going to be Star. If I had to take a good guess on that. It's not like I'm basing that off anything, just because I think the lack of upgrades, potentially it's probably Star. I feel like if he had Superstar or Superstar X Factor, he would have gotten a lot more upgrades. So still have some work to do on the route running. The route running is getting there. And the rest of these guys, we are just going to, actually, Ruben Bain Jr. Gonna give him another Power Rusher. We're just going Power Rusher this time. Last time I tried making him kind of even. We're just going pure Power Rusher on this one, because I don't know if it matters in Sim if they're like, if it's evenly distributed. I don't think it is. I don't think that does anything. So for that, we're just gonna do that. Upgrade all the players, and let's go look at the stats. So what a rookie season for LaNorris Sellers. 37 touchdowns to 11 interceptions, 4,200 yards. Ashton Genty, a couple yards short of 1,000-yard season. Came very close to getting that. And then we come back here receiving. Jacoby Myers, 1,100, almost 1,200 yards. Nick Harbor, closed in on 1,000. Brock Bowers, 731 yards on the season. Genty had a good season, so pretty good stuff right there for these guys. Then defensively, I'm interested to see what Ruben Bain did. Looks like he had 12 sacks on the season. And then Brennan Jackson came in with 8. Tyree Wilson was 6.5. T.R. Tart, kind of just a one-year rental type of player. Then a bunch of guys here with half a sack as well. And then Devin Bush, Jeremy Chin with some interceptions. Would have liked to see more interceptions. Maybe even more sacks from some of these other guys down on the roster. But let's get into the offseason and prepare for year 3. Your Super Bowl recap. The Chargers beat the Packers, denying the Packers a back-to-back situation of championships. Justin Herbert was your MVP. Clyde Holland was the coach of the year for the Browns. Devonta Smith, Abdul Carter, your offensive and defensive players of the year, respectively. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Antonio Williams, which kind of feels like BS, honestly. I don't know. I feel like your players get screwed out of Rookies of the Years in Madden because LaNorris had an amazing rookie year. I mean, that might be a best season for some veteran quarterbacks. So not sure about that, but either way, let's get more into the offseason here. So re-signings, we got Brock Bowers. We'll accept that option. Terrion Arnold. We'll accept that option. And then Jeremy Chin, I would like to keep, actually. I have no idea if he's interested in sticking around. 3 years, that's a little risky, but he's going to test free agency. I'll respect it, honestly. Trey Tucker is interesting. Let's see if he's interested in coming back. He's going to test. I'm going to let Trey Tucker walk. We do have some younger guys behind him, so I'm not too concerned about that. I would like to keep Michael Mayer around. I do like the idea of having multiple really good tight ends. I kind of just like the concept. And he's willing to come back, so I'll take that. And T.R. Tart would be interested in coming back. Shaq Thompson's getting older. The rest of these guys I feel like we can kind of just let walk. Tart's still 30, so if he wants to come back and he's willing to come back, we have a bunch of cap. We could push the issue for some of these guys, but I'm not going to. So we're just gonna let these guys walk. So there it is right there. That's who we're re-signing. Let's get into free agency and see what we can do here. You know, the 2026 retirements. So we'll take a quick look at these, actually. So we're kind of know who retired from our team, what we need to do. And right guard Alex Kappa retires and Nick Moore retires. So I'm gonna need another long snapper and going to need Aiden Hutchinson is a free agent. Oh, this could be delightfully devilish, honestly. We traded Max Crosby to them. What if we, in return, sign their guy away from them? Why not do it? Why not do it? Let's see. Would Aiden Hutchinson be interested? He is interested. We can give him that friendly deal. Give him way more money. Because we have the money to spend. This is the advantage of having a rookie quarterback under contract. Oh, man. Okay. Very player friendly. If we go very player friendly, does that get us any closer? That does kind of put us in the lead right now. That'd be a massive deal for us to bring in a guy like that, but I like the idea of doing it, honestly. Why not? Is kind of my thought process right there. You know, so yeah, I think we're gonna do that. Or at least we're gonna try to do it. Nothing's guaranteed in free agency, but we're gonna attempt to do that. Dontavian Wicks, that could be a decent replacement actually for Trey Tucker, and kind of just a guy who should be able to slot in on our team. And yeah, so center, could use a new center. And nothing that really is all that interesting, but you know what? Cade Mays, potentially. No, we're going to go with Aaron Brewer. We're just going to fill up the rest of this roster, give him a 3-year deal, give him a nice contract right there. And then there really isn't anything too interesting at tackle, if I'm being honest. Brian O'Neill would be interesting. He's a little bit older, though. Left tackle. Still really nothing that I kind of want. Max Mitchell. No thanks. Linebacker. That's kind of what I want to do here, if we can find some good linebackers. Shaq Thompson was with us for a year. Tremaine Edmonds being in the league as long as he has, and him only being 29 is kind of wild to me. Cody Barton. See if he's interested. And we can probably, I think we can do one more signing, and that is gonna probably do it for us, honestly. We're good there, really. We need some depth, but I can always just sign guys. Jeremy Chin, I would like to bring back, but he doesn't seem interested in kind of re-signing with us. So that does kind of suck. Let's see if he is, though. He's kind of whatever on it. We do have the best offer for him, so let's go see if we can get some of these signings in. Let's evaluate some of these offers, see if these guys are willing to sign with us. And a couple guys jumped us for Jeremy Chin, but our signings are pretty good. We do not get Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson decides to go with the Tennessee Titans for, I think, way less money than what we offered. So this is going to be my first complaint here. I have no problem with these guys signing elsewhere. My issue is no one's leaving that type of money on the table in the NFL. I think our offer was way bigger, more money. That's just not what people do in the NFL. Actually, we're still first for Jeremy Chin. Let's see. Does Jeremy Chin? Chin does not sign with us. Could have upped the offer, but so we still have a bunch of cap room. I decided not to blow all of our cap. I just felt like that would probably not be a good idea right now. But Kenny Clark is interested. He's still really good. And I'll take Kenny Clark. If no one wants to sign Kenny Clark, I'll sign Kenny Clark. And we have the best offer for Kenny Clark, and getting him away from the Chargers would be very good for us. We still need some free safety help. So Elijah Molden does not really have any offers. Because for me, for safeties, I just kind of put them wherever. I don't really care if one guy's a strong safety or whatever. Elijah Molden, if he's interested, we'll bring him in. You know, just kind of, that's kind of how I operate with safeties. I just kind of like whatever, you know. So Sidney Brown, see if he's interested. Give him money. People like money, right? Offer him a contract. And a long snapper. Almost forgot about that. I have no idea if the overalls really matter. I'm tired of having to sign long snappers. So here's a 2-year deal, pal. So let's go now see everyone that we're in on and evaluate that. And we signed them. So we get Kenny Clark, Elijah Molden, Dontavian Wicks, Cody Barton, Aaron Brewer, Sidney Brown, and a long snapper. So that's pretty good stuff, honestly. I mean, it's whatever. So that's probably gonna do it for free agency for us. We don't really need to do too much else here. We look around. If there's anything that we missed. Justin Fields goes to the Saints. He's still a 79 overall. How? How? Who over at EA really likes Justin Fields that bad, where they're just like, yeah, what if he's still this rated this highly? It's like, he's not that good. Why are we pretending that he's this good? What are we doing? Very strange stuff. Either way, that's gonna do it for free agency, I think. Okay, so we are in the draft right now. Gonna make our selection. I didn't talk too much about the draft because I kind of already knew what we were doing here. When the minute I saw it, when I looked through the mock drafts, that is taking this corner, Jose Posey, who looks really good, actually, and looks like he has good skills. His play recognition is a C, but everything else is literally good. A zone coverage, A man coverage, B block shedding, A catching, A awareness, A tackle. This is the pick. Needed to get a corner. I think that's why I didn't really get one in the kind of free agency period, because I knew that we had this pick still, and we are going to take Jose Posey, the number 3 ranked player in the draft, and we got him at number 5. Has hidden dev, 93 speed, 90 acceleration, 92 change of direction, 84 jumping, 87 agility. Everything looks pretty good here for him, so hopefully he will be good for us. That'd be nice. And with our second pick, this is the guy that actually popped up. I could have swore popped up in one of my mock drafts as us taking him when at the number 5 pick. We're going to get him all the way here at 27. Deontay Cohn, another edge rusher. We couldn't get the other guy that we wanted, which is Aiden Hutchinson, because he decided not to sign with us. He decided to sign with Tennessee for not as much money as we were offering, but whatever. Deontay Cohn out of Wisconsin, and number 10 ranked player in the draft. We get him at number 27. Normal dev, though, so that's a little disappointing. Hopefully we can get to work on that dev trait, and hopefully he can develop for us and become a great player. But going to get to that next pick in the draft, and then we're probably going to let the CPU do everything else here. The Aiden Hutchinson trade working out pretty good for us, honestly, to continue to get these picks. And again, this is our own pick, actually, but that other pick was from the Lions. So honestly, might just take another corner here, but we'll take a look here. It's any defensive tackles that we're interested in. And this guy is a round 1 talent, Lamar Finch, nose tackle. I know we have some other guys here. So maybe Finch could be a guy we take. Our next pick is not till the 3rd round. So let's go back to Finch. Where is he? We are picking in the top half of the 3rd round. And Finch is round 3 to 4. He is a round 1 talent, but I'm going to take another corner just to be safe. Honestly, linebacker's been weird because there just has not been many good linebackers. Jerome Hooks, his man coverage isn't good. Has a good 40, 4.42. Let's go take a look here at Jared Beckett. And Beckett 4.42, 4.40. We are gonna go with Beckett here and skip that. Ranked number 22 in True Value, got him at 37. Jared Beckett, hidden dev, 93 speed, 95 acceleration. So getting some bodies into that corner room, and hopefully that defensive tackle is still there when we get to our next pick in the 3rd round. And then we're probably going to call it a draft. Going to make our selection here. This is really laggy for some reason. Very laggy. I don't know why. Let's go see if that defensive tackle is still there. And he is not. He is gone. Kind of expected him to be gone. This guy's around 2 to 3, though. Talent. Nose tackle as well. A play rec. So, South Carolina guy. 2. Any good offensive tackles around? And the answer is, I don't know. Did not do enough scouting on offensive linemen, honestly. So that will be something we'll focus on, I think, maybe for next draft class. But we're going to take Brady Edwards right here. Has good stuff. Let's see if he's any good. Skip that. And number 60 in True Value, got him at 69. So not too bad. And does have hidden dev, 88 strength. Again, nose tackles are always good picks, but I'm going to let the CPU handle the rest of the draft. We'll take a look at the draft recap after this. So I did make one more pick. It was another defensive tackle, Jared Ferguson, and he also has hidden dev. So 88 strength. Again, just draft nose tackles. They're always really good. So draft recap, Jose Posey, 80 overall. Looks really good. Hidden dev player. I mean, got to work on the play recognition, but man coverage, zone coverage looks really good. Jumping's good. Catching's decent. So looks like a pretty good pick right there. And then Deontay Cohn, the left edge player out of Wisconsin. Got to work on the finesse moves and block shedding and, of course, play recognition. That's really important for edge rushing. I'm not sure how important it is in the sim. We'll see when we get out there for Season 3. And then Jared Beckett, 75 overall, hidden dev as well. So if either of these corners has a superstar, I think that'd be awesome. I'm expecting both of them to have star, but if either of them have superstar or better, that'd be pretty awesome, honestly. And then Brady Edwards, defensive tackle we took, had hidden dev as well. And he looks pretty good too. Play recognition's pretty high, 79 for a rookie. And then power moves looks good. Block shedding is okay. I would say everything. His moves all look okay. I shouldn't say good, but kind of a guy just to develop. And then Jared Ferguson, another guy that I just took a flyer on, and has 77 play recognition, 88 strength, and does have hidden dev as well. So some pretty good stuff here. And then the CPU took Jason Keaton, a hidden dev tight end. 76. His catching doesn't look good. His route running isn't very good. 71 overall. So I'm kind of confused on that one. Looked good, and then you see him is like, oh god, he's terrible. And then Blowjob Burton is 85 speed, 91 acceleration, will linebacker. So looks pretty good. Honestly, our draft was pretty nice in terms of the entire NFL. Who was the best player? Looks like it was a running back and a safety out of USC. What do you know? And then we got really the best actual player, but we were in there top 3 in terms of the best players, and it was a corner. So like I wanted to get, but there we go. Nice stuff. Good draft. So this is the team for year 3. We have Dontavian Wicks at wide receiver 2, simply because currently Nick Harbor is hurt with a hip injury. So he's not out there. Offensive line, about the same as last year. We do have Luke Musgrave on this team. And defensively, cornerback room looks really good, honestly. Cornerback room, defensive tackles look really good. Still need to get better at linebacker, I think, but just haven't had the opportunity to do that just yet. But this team looks a lot better than last year. Of course, we're better on offense than really anywhere else, but hopefully the defense can begin to come along here for year 3. So let's simulate. I'll see you at the midseason mark, and let's see how we're doing. Midseason mark, and we are 7-0, undefeated. Probably the best record in the NFL, right? I mean, it is undefeated. Well, the Colts are also undefeated, but we are 7-0 right now, looking pretty good. And let's go take a look at the stats. How's LaNorris Sellers doing? He's doing great. 17 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, almost 2,000 yards. Ashton Genty looking pretty good right now as well. And then receiving wise, it's Brock Bowers leading us in terms of yardage. Almost threw up right there. And yeah, looking pretty good right there. Touchdowns, Nick Harbor, #Harbor, with 6 receiving touchdowns. Dontavian Wicks has been pretty good for us as well. So it's just looking really good right now, at least on that end of the football. And when it comes to our edge rushers, Ruben Bain Jr., 6.5 sacks. Deontay Cohn, our rookie, doing pretty well himself. Tier Tart playing well. And then Kenny Clark, 6 TFL so far. Sidney Brown, a sack. Jack Kaiser, who we actually traded for Jack Kaiser. Ended up trading him for Eric Stokes, actually. I forgot to put that in the video. But we did make that trade. And then Devin Bush and Cody Barton both with interceptions so far. So looking pretty good right now. We are going to do our weekly strategy. And we're going to change these all out because this is how I am kind of developing our team right now. And it's kind of just these things. These are really important. And we have that. We have some points, actually, some coaches points. So what we're actually going to do, we're going to go to Coach Central and upgrade these. And the ones we're going to upgrade are ones we have active, and that's going to be defensive line. And we're going to get those up to that. Offensive line, going to upgrade that. And I think we just have enough to upgrade practitioner. So get all of our practitioners up to level 4. I think that's kind of important to do. Then we'll do a weekly strategy, simulate the training, and then we will be on to do some upgrades real quick, see how everything's doing. I don't think any of our guys are particularly starting right now, particularly those defensive tackles. I don't think they're starters just yet, because we have Kenny Clark and Tier Tart kind of just in the way. Jared Ferguson, I don't believe he's started yet. He's only played 6 snaps so far, but you know, he is getting some pretty good development right now, which does make me wonder if he's at least a superstar. Just because he, out of those 2 defensive tackles we drafted, I believe he's the only one with with at least 2 upgrade points right now, and that is kind of the case. So going to upgrade all these guys, do a bunch of those upgrades, and then we are going to simulate to the playoffs. Hopefully we make them. We're looking pretty good here, flying high at 7-0, taking on Max Crosby and the 2-4 Detroit Lions. Look at the Lions kind of petered out after that trade, and we've kind of maybe cursed them or something. I don't know, but we're going to see how we do, see if we make the playoffs. So we did end up making the playoffs. We played the Dolphins at 12-5. Did we win our division? And no, we did not, actually. We finished 3rd behind Kansas City and the Chargers. So AFC West is extremely tough. Seems like in this franchise, the Broncos have kind of fallen off in this division. But stats and awards, LaNorris Sellers, almost 5,000 yards, 39 touchdowns, 8 interceptions in his 2nd season, 1,100 yards, 15 touchdowns for Ashton Genty. And then Jacoby Myers still putting up some great numbers. This was really a great season right here. 3 receivers over 1,000 yards. Ontavian Wicks came in, kind of fit in pretty good for us, honestly. But yeah, just kind of some big numbers here for this offense. And defensively, Devin Bush with 5 interceptions, 2 for Jalen Key. And then the rest of these guys look pretty decent as well. And then for sacks, Ruben Bain Jr., 12.5, almost 10 for Deontay Cohn, 7 for Kenny Clark, 7 for Tier Tart, Devin Bush, 3.5, Molden, and then 1 for all of these guys, and Cody Barton and Adarius Washington with each half a sack and an interception each. So let's see if we can beat the Dolphins. I'll play the moments, and then if I have to jump in, I'll jump in. If not, we'll just kind of let it ride. And it looks like we are well on our way to advancing into the playoff, or advancing in the playoffs. Why is it asking me this stuff? I don't care. Please stop. Really? On our way to advancing to the divisional round, we beat the Dolphins in the wild card. We'll take a look at some of the stats here. This game looks like it got out of hand pretty early, actually. So let's take a look at the team stats. Actually, that's why I want player stats. Take a look here. Raiders and LaNorris Sellers, 14-20, 271 yards, 4 touchdowns. And you got Ashton Genty with a touchdown. And then receiving wise, it was Nick Harbor. And then you got Dante Thornton, Jack Beck, Beck, I don't know. And then Brock Bowers as well, having a touchdown here. So some really nice stuff there. And then defensively, Kenny Clark with a sack, Devin Bush with a sack, and we were able to turn over Tua twice. Jose Posey showing up in the playoffs here, and so did Jalen Key. So really nice win. Let's see who we're playing in the divisional. So for the divisional round, we're taking on the Indianapolis Colts. I'm interested to see who actually their quarterback is. I'm not sure who they have. I don't know if they stuck with Richardson or they still got Daniel Jones or did they draft someone. And it's Cade Klubnik, actually. They went with Cade Klubnik. Jameis Winston's there, Riley Leonard, but it's Cade Klubnik. 93 overall is he with a star development. So went with Cade Klubnik, moved on from Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones, and went with Cade, and looks like he's turned out to be a decent NFL player. So play the moments, you know the drill, and I'll see you back here if we advance and win. Who knows? So looks like we're doing pretty good right here. We're going to come in, play one of these moments here in this fourth quarter. Try to stay out of the way best I can, but so far we're looking, maybe, can we get there? No, we cannot. We're going to give up a touchdown. Could not win quick enough on the edge, which is kind of typical of Madden 26, if I'm being honest. It's kind of a game where you just don't win on the edge that often. At least quick enough, I feel like. That's kind of an issue in my opinion. But here we go. We have a fourth down here. Gonna try to go here to Jacoby Myers, and that is gonna be a touchdown right there. That might be the dagger, and that might be what sends us to the AFC Championship game. They're gonna get a touchdown here. We have an end of game drive here, so just have to pick up a first down here, and we will be heading to the AFC Championship game. Looks like we might be taking on the Ravens, but kind of a missed tackle attempt there. Ashton Genty not going down easily, and so we're going to come back again, and I think we're just going to try to run this football, try to basically get them to use their timeouts, and hopefully we can do that and move on here. And we are just going to pick up the first down right there, and I think that should do it. I think one more run here, get them to burn that final timeout, and we are either heading to Baltimore or Baltimore's coming to play us. I'm not really sure here. Good blocking there, and they're going to call their last and final timeout. We have a better record than the Ravens, so it would be a home playoff game for the Raiders here. So just kneel it down, call it a game, and get out of here. I love though he even just stands up straight for the kneel down too. There we go. So we are going to be moving on to the AFC Championship game. We defeat the Colts 31-23. Let's go see who we're going to play. It's either the Ravens or the Chargers. So here it is. We are going to be taking on the Baltimore Ravens here in the AFC Championship game. I'm going to take a quick look and see who's in the NFC side, and it's the Eagles and Giants. So again, like I said before, play the moments. I'll come back and check in with you, see how we're doing in the game. One game away from another Super Bowl, one game away from, I think, really another successful rebuild. So we are deep into the third quarter here. We have a 21-7 lead. We're just going to keep letting the CPU kind of do it here. We're going to come in right here, take control of this drive, and if we can maybe punch this football in from the 2. I think this is a situation where you would actually go for it again. This would be a knockout punch, and we're just going to come up just short there and keep this drive alive. So yes, I do think this is a situation where you would actually go for this. Do they have a sneak here? We do, and I think you would just sneak this ball here. Tush push, whatever you want to call it. I think this is what you would do. And we are just going to get in. We're going to get in for the touchdown to LaNorris Sellers, in for the score. And that might be your dagger in this one. The Raiders might be on the way to the Super Bowl here, and we are just going to skip the moment and just kind of let the CPU play out the rest of this. Let them get their garbage time score if they want. Let them try to go for the onside. Not even interested. And we do it. We end up winning the AFC Championship game, and we are headed to the Super Bowl to take on either the Eagles or the Giants. More heartbreak for Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. So let's see who we're playing in the Super Bowl. So, going to be taking on the New York Giants in the Super Bowl. We're better overall than them. We have a 92 overall offense, 83 overall defense, and 87 overall as a whole there, and 85 overall. They beat the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. Like I've said before, play the moment, and also Jackson Churio will be playing in Game 2. Big news. So we are late fourth quarter here in the Super Bowl. We have a 3-point lead, and the Giants are driving 4th and 7. This is clearly a go for it situation. They actually kicked the field goal. I cannot believe that. I think that's an obvious go for it situation, in my opinion. That is not a field goal situation. That is you go for it. I don't really understand that, if I'm being entirely honest. But we get a big play right here. And there we go, pick up the first down, and we immediately begin moving into field goal range. That's why I think you go for it. I think either way you put yourself in position to lose the game, because now we're going to get this football and we are going to chew clock. I mean, this is clearly kill the clock time. This is not a yeah, that is just not what we're going to do. We're going to find Bowers here. And we're already in field goal range, and they're going to have the 2-minute warning, and we're still going to pass the ball, I think, because we're going to try to pick up. I think you would feel comfortable if you picked up at least one more first down here. Let's see if there's anything in this play sheet that looks good. That one looks all right, I guess. But yeah, this is a situation where you're just going to try to, keep picking up first downs and just kind of, if you can, salt the game away. Break a tackle right there. Going to get 2nd and inches. They're not using their timeouts yet. I don't know why they're not using their timeouts. This is very clearly use your timeouts time, and the Giants are not doing it. Tied football game here. We're going to snap it here. And now they're going to use their timeouts. I don't understand that. Kind of a mismanagement of the clock there by Brian Dable, if I'm being entirely honest. But, we are just going to try to run this football. Yes, it's not on all Madden. You're trying to chill out when you're doing these rebuilds, man. You're not trying to, this is not the time to be doing all Madden, but we're going to get power O here. Gonna run the right here. I mean, they have one more timeout, but we get to, we're really close to picking up that first down now at 3rd and 2. Which means it's time to run the ball out of shotgun, right? I mean, that's kind of the obvious thing you do right here. You run the ball out of shotgun, and that's what we're going to try to do. This might work, it might not work. Who really knows? But we are just not going to pick up the first down. Now I kind of want to go for it, if I'm being honest. And I think we are going to go for it. We are not going to give them this football back. That is not what we are going to do. That's just no way, no how are we giving them this football back after we kick a field goal. We are going to, I'll play for overtime. I don't care. 4th and inches here. I think this is what you got to do. We're going to take all the time that we can off of this clock. And then we are going to pick it up right there. 1st and goal. Now we're going to come out, field goal formation. Call a timeout, 4 seconds left. Game almost gave me a heart attack right there. And Daniel Carlson, can he make the kick, win the Super Bowl for the Raiders? Kick is up, away. Kick is good. 2 seconds left. And we win the Super Bowl. So there it is. Yet another successful rebuild. Jackson Shart loses the Super Bowl. He's a loser. Jackson Dart's a loser. The New York Giants are losers. If you're a Giants fan, you're probably a loser. If you're a Giants fan, you can't rebuild teams of Madden as good as me. That's just the way it is, So LaNorris Sellers is a Super Bowl champion. We will be back for one more year, and we are going to attempt to go back to back, and then we'll call it a rebuild. Another successful one in the can. So your 2027 offseason recap, Super Bowl MVP is LaNorris Sellers. Your champions are the Las Vegas Raiders. Brian Daboll, we beat the head coach of the year, who also had the offensive player of the year in Wan'Dale Robinson. But we also had the defensive rookie of the year in Deontay Cohn, which means he is probably going to be up to a superstar. So that is a really big development for us. So let's get into re-signing, see who we have to re-sign, and then get into free agency. So we have some re-signings here. We're going to accept the option on Ashton Genty. Going to negotiate with Jacoby Myers. Look at all the cap we still have because our team is so young. Jackson Powers Johnson, we are going to absolutely keep around because we need him. And he's glad to get the offer done. Kenny Clark will not be back for the simple fact, well, actually, he's kind of cheap, but we do have some younger guys that we have on this team. Cody Barton will not be back. Neither will Brandon Jackson or Tyree Wilson. We will have to get a little bit younger there, but Caden Wallace will bring back just for the depth, honestly, and he's willing to do that. Kenny Clark, well, I'll bring Kenny Clark back. I'm a big softy. We'll bring Kenny Clark back for another year, and everyone else, I think we can kind of just let walk. Tier Tart is interested, but we have younger players that we want to bring back instead, so we're not going to bring him back. DJ Glaze is not interested in coming back. You're coming back. They're coming back. Yeah, of course you're happy to sign with a great organ. That's what, and we're going to call it right there, I think. $63 million in cap room. We have a little bit of wiggle room in free agency. Take a quick look at this roster, see what it looks like, see if anyone like secretly retired on me real quick. And I swear to God, I play this game so long, and yet I kind of get a little confused by the menus at times. So we did bring Glaze back. I like having, you know, honestly, I probably shouldn't have brought back Glaze. Well, actually, yeah, I like having linemen. Generate our best lineups. Take a look at this real quick here. And yeah, so we need to get some more. Oh, this guy's a superstar. Jared Beckett is a superstar, so that's pretty cool. He's not even really playing that much. I should have paid attention to my roster before I brought back DJ Glaze. Because we technically really don't need him, but we might, just because of injury. This guy Charles Grant has actually worked out for us as well. Well, actually, we might need Glaze because Colton Miller, we probably expected Colton Miller to retire, but he hasn't, so he's stuck around still. So we're expecting, I guess that'd be a deal where you're expecting a guy to retire. So you know what? It's not all bad in the lore of the franchise. We need to go out and we need to get another line. Oh, God. Cooper. Oh, wow. Joe Alt is here. Romo Dunze's here. Wow. There's some guys here. There's some guys. We need middle linebacker. Help. I need help at linebacker. Edgerrin Cooper, who I have brought in so many times, but actually I really haven't. Edgerrin Cooper, let's give him a 4-year deal. Let's give this guy a ton of money. I want Edgerrin Cooper. You're going to want to be a Las Vegas Raider. Player friendly. Very player friendly. Come on. My man, you want to be a Raider? You want to be a Raider. This is the only move we can, this is the only move I need to make, honestly. Edgerrin Cooper's a Raider. There we go. That's really all we needed to do. I really didn't need to make any other signings except that one. Yeah, didn't need to do really anything else. We're good at safety. I mean, there's nothing else we really need to do here. We're good at strong safety. We're good at corner. Are we good at will? Weak inside linebacker? Are we good there? We're pretty much good there. I will bring in someone else though, just to have an extra body. Yeah, 3 years. And that's probably going to do it for free agency. Come on, sign. Sign. And he signs. So there, that's all we really needed to do. I could have went out and got one of these awesome left tackles. Just we didn't have the money for that. So I don't think we already have tackles kind of waiting to take over certain positions. We're good at receiver. We don't need to do anything there. We're good at running back. We don't need to do anything there. We're definitely set at quarterback. So that's kind of it. So on to the draft. All right, draft recap. We went kind of heavy on linebackers. We also ended up getting a pretty good guard right here, Tyler Canoe, and he is only a normal dev player. I don't know if he'll start actually for us, but really good player right there to get right there in the 3rd round, 75 overall. Got a decent running back, kind of an interesting quarterback, normal dev for him. And then the linebacker we took, Caesar, here is a hidden dev, weak inside linebacker. Kind of just wanted a linebacker. None of the other ones looked pretty good. And this one looked okay. And he is kind of just that, okay. And then we ended up taking Colin Newby right here. And he is a normal dev player as well. 87 speed though, block shedding, hip power. So here we are, the 4th and final season of this rebuild. We're up to an 88 overall, 92 overall offense, 84 overall defense. Take one final look at this roster here. Get it all set up. Generate best lineup. We will do that. And here it is. This is the lineup here for the final year of this franchise. Jakobi Meyers has been awesome for us. Probably starting to fall off a little bit right here, but I think that's why we have a pretty decent receiving core here. Hashtag Harbor. And then the defense is a lot better. We have some really good linebackers. Actually, we have Edrin Cooper. We have this guy. This guy looks pretty good, actually. Defensive line looks really good. Ferguson right there is a superstar player. And so he's actually going to be our DT number 2. Defensive tackle room looks great. Corner room looks great. I mean, this is maybe one of the best corner rooms in the entire NFL. We're really good at safety. Have a hidden dev guy there. So honestly, I'm kind of expecting a lot here from this team. We're just going to simulate straight to the end of the season, and I'll let you know how we do. We end up going 12-5. Best record in all the AFC. We have a bye. Let's take a look at this roster real quick and just kind of see where it's at right now at this point in the season. And generate best lineup again. Defense has greatly improved over the course of a season. Nick Harbor has kind of clearly taken over the wide receiver 1 spot here. But right now, let's take a look here. Offense, we know the offense good. What happened with this defense? And this is what happened. Our 1st round pick, Cesar Enriquez, who I just kind of took on a whim, he had superstar X Factor. I don't believe he got this through any like drills or anything. He just straight up has superstar X Factor. And he had a ton of upgrades, up to an 82 overall. So that is just a big pick right there. Let's go take a look at the stats. I mean, Ferguson has taken over the defensive tackle 1 spot right here. And just some awesome stuff right here for this defense, it looks like. Apparently it looks like kind of everything worked out how I wanted it to. So go take a look here at stats and awards. LaNorris Sellers, best season of his career, 5,200 yards, 51 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Ashton Genty, 1,300 yards. Take a look at that real quick, actually. Again, make sure you see that. And Jaden Ott getting 3 touchdowns. Yeah, only 6 touchdowns, though. Probably because we're passing the ball so much. Jakobi Meyers, 21 touchdowns. Nick Harbor, 10. 9 for Bowers. 6 for Jack Beach. Dontavian Wicks, really, I guess he just fell out of the rotation here. But yeah, I mean, just awesome numbers right there on offense. And defensively, 15 sacks for Reuben Bain Jr., 9. And then 8 for Jared Ferguson, 5.5 right there. So just some really good stuff right there from our defense getting sacks. And then Jose Posey with 4 interceptions, Edrin Cooper some interceptions, and so just a really good defense for us. So let's see who we're playing in the divisional round. So going to be taking on Cam Ward and the Titans in the playoffs. Play the moments, you know how we do it here. Let's see if we can advance. So it looks like we are well on our way to a pretty dominant win here in the divisional round, 35-7 right now, just really taking it to the Titans. They get a garbage time touchdown, but we are headed back to the AFC Championship game after the win here in the divisional. So let's see who we're playing in the AFC Championship game. Taking on the Browns in the AFC Championship game. Let's see if we can win this one. I think they have Shadur starting still. Actually, we can go check that real quick. Roster and go to the Browns. And yes, no, they have a different quarterback. They have Addison Burke. They still have Shadur actually, and Dylan Gabriel. They actually both progressed pretty nicely, but Addison Burke is their quarterback, and he looks pretty good actually. 6'1", 227 out of Virginia Tech. Superstar dev, 92 overall. So let's see if we can beat the Browns. Well on our way to yet another Super Bowl appearance. They're going to go for an onside kick. We're going to let them. We're just going to run this thing out. Let the CPU do what they got to do. Don't really care. 28-17. We are heading to another Super Bowl as we defeat the Cleveland Browns in the AFC Championship game. So let's see who we're playing in the Super Bowl. So going to be taking on the Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl. Let's take a look at these yearly awards. LaNorris Sellers is your MVP. If there was even a choice here, Coach of the Year is not us. It's Brian Dable. They're showing no respect to Coach Mike. Taking on the Lions here. We started off this franchise making that massive trade with. Trading them Max Crosby. I don't know if Max Crosby is still on the roster. We'll take a quick look, actually. And take a look here if he is still on that roster or not. If he's still there, he is still there. So this is how we're going to end this rebuild, taking on Max Crosby. Trading away Max Crosby allowed us to draft LaNorris Sellers, allowed us to draft Brian Bain Jr., and a bunch of other picks that we had in that initial draft. So kind of an important thing here for us, I think, to kind of a fitting end to this rebuild. It's the Super Bowl, and basically the blowout's on here. We are just dominating this Lions team. This is a big 3rd and 9. I'm going to try to pick this one up, and going to find Bowers right there, middle of the field, pick up the first down, keep the chains moving, go in for another score here. And I think this would probably honestly put this thing away. I don't know if they have enough time to actually come back here. And gonna find Harbor right there. I believe that's who that was. I should know who that is. This is my team. I built it, but you know, it's hard to tell sometimes as I'm looking at a tiny computer screen of the game. So gonna find Bowers again, and we're just gonna get stopped just short because it's Madden. And we're just gonna run the same play again. I like the same concept actually. And Harbor, I'm gonna send him on a slant this time. See if maybe we can win. And he does. Holds on to the football as well, and that might do it, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, that might do it here. They do get it. They're going for an onside kick. I don't really care. We scored another touchdown. Let them. We are going to win the Super Bowl, and we end up going back to back in this franchise. Yet another successful rebuild here for Coach Mike, able to do it in 4 years. The Raiders, they go from worst to first, all thanks to trading away Max Crosby for a bunch of picks. So maybe that's something the Raiders might want to consider here. And LaNorris Sellers probably is your Super Bowl MVP yet again. So there it is. I'm going to get out of here. Another successful rebuild here on the channel. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I had fun making that. I'm actually having a lot of fun making these. So I hope you guys enjoy these. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. So I lied. I'm going to come back right just for this. One final look at this roster. Jacoby Myers is really regressing here, but one final look here before I get out of here. This team is going to end a 90 overall, 93 overall offense, 88 overall defense. LaNorris Sellers. We can only, I don't even think we can upgrade. We can't even upgrade anything else, even though we have 2 upgrade points in the tank. Two-time Super Bowl champion at 24 years old, and he has a ton of upgrade points that will probably occur if we kept playing this and just trying to win as many championships as we want, but we won 2. And the defense here is kind of the key piece here, and just this defense is set up for a lot of success for, I think, a really long time, honestly. Yeah, lots of success. Ferguson turned out to be a really good player here in this second Super Bowl, and he's already really highly rated. We have a great defensive line. We have edge rushers. We have some good linebackers finally. We got them here in this final year. A bunch of depth at linebacker. We have good edge rushers, good safeties, good everything. Great offense. What more could you ask for if you're a Raiders fan? So if you enjoyed this rebuild, let me know down below. What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? What do you want me to, if you want me to focus on things a little bit more? Do you want me to find a different draft class that has all those new quarterbacks that have popped up? What teams do you want me to rebuild next? Do you want me to be a little more realistic with the trades? Maybe some of these were a little cheesy at times, but like I said before, it's Madden. So let me know all that stuff down below in the comment sections. Let me hear your thoughts on that, and I will see you guys in the next one. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.